Hello, hello. So I'm back with day 6 of the 5-tag book that I'm making. So this one is all done, and obviously this one was using the kit. So I'm now going to create another one using other things. I'm not even going to use proper cardstock to make this. I'm going to use scrap card. So what I've decided to do is I am going to cut, and I want my tags 4 inches by 7 inches. So I'm going to cut 8 inches by 7 inches, and I need 5 of them. So I'm going to do these 2, and hopefully, I haven't even checked that these are big enough, but I'm sure it is. So I'm going to just speed this little bit up while I cut my tags. I'm not going to try and fold these. You can obviously try and fold them yourself, but I'm going to use my scoreboard. So I'm just going to score these all at, wow, that was pants. I'm going to score them anyway at 4 inches. To do is cover them, and I'm going to be using some collage, and for now I'm going to do everything from just one book. This is a book that I recently picked up from the charity shop. It was £2. There are lots of images, lots of text, lots of vintage images. You can use anything for this, any book. Just pick a book, because sometimes that's the best way to go. So now I've got a load of images. What I want to do is have a look on the back of the ones that are quite plain. That one's quite nice. That one's quite nice. That one's quite nice. I'm just looking at where that word rosemary is. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that word rosemary out. And I'm going to crop it as tight to the word as I can, because I don't want to lose too much. So I'm going to just take that and put that aside. And I haven't really taken much away from that. Let's see what else we've got. I have a few words ready now. There are still lots and lots of words in this book. I'm hoping to do as much as I possibly can just with this one book. I might go to other books for some things, but this is the book that I plan on using the most. I'm going to make a collage. I'm going to speed it up, and then I'll talk about the rationale behind at the end. So that is my first collage done. You might think there were a few things here that were slightly odd. The first thing is I wanted to keep things square cut. This particular style of collage I didn't want to be torn edges. I wanted this neat and clean and to kind of replicate the feel of the kit that I used in the previous version. There are things that we're going to do to this which is going to take us away from that, but that's what I was looking for. When you're creating a collage, don't think you have to have lots of tiny pieces. They don't have to be tiny pieces at all. The more confident you get, the more you feel at ease making a collage, then the smaller you could go, for example. It's always good to start with a couple of really big blocks or to start with bigger blocks. It's also perfectly acceptable to have plain space in your collages. Always be prepared to put things at different orientations. Not everything has to be the right way up. It can be upside down, it can be sideways, and that's great. That actually increases the aesthetic of the collage. The other thing is, don't be afraid of having gaps, because you can always fill them with smaller pieces like I did here. Once you have a kind of collage in place, if you have certain parts that are all going in the same direction, it's okay to add something across the top to break things up. There was a clear line here which was kind of really bright and in your face to me, so I've put the word lavender sideways there. It's also a good idea if you want to tie something together to maybe have one theme or piece of paper that's seen all the way through. And I really like this text. I've kept these little pieces here. I've still got a piece here, but I'm going to try and make sure that at least one piece of that appears on every tag. It might not happen. There might be one where I don't have the space for it. The other thing to think about is when you're creating a collage like this, if you're going to fold it, it's easier to not collage down your crease. It's just easier to fold your paper if there's not collaging over it. That's just something I do. I'm happy with both sides of these. Now, they're going to be pockets and things on here, so you can kind of think about that while you're creating your collages. So what I'm going to do is, using my corner chomper that I always use, what I'm going to do is, I know you're going to think that I'm completely crazy, but I'm going to take my permanent marker and I'm just going to put an arrow on this particular card. What I would often do is start a new card, but I want to make sure I use that corner for every single tag that I make. So I'm going to line that up, take my scissors, and I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to have the arrow showing again, make sure they're even, and I'm going to cut that. Okay, I am still not going to be gluing this together. I need this like this. I'm going to create the other two collages for the inside of my book. I'm going to speed it up, but I will film it, and I will be back at the end to show you what we're going to do. So as you noticed, I went over to glue stick to finish this off. They are now all dry, and I just wanted to show you before we move on what I've prepped ready for our next two, which will be in tomorrow's video. So if you want to work along, you can prep maybe and be there with me. So these are the two that we have to finish. These are the cover tags. You can see I've used quite a lot of this book already. There are still lots of things in here that I can use, lots of words, lots of titles. I just wanted to show you a few things. So what I've done is these are the end papers for my book. Most end papers are cream, some are white, but it's always worth looking, because using the end papers as your blank space brings in that continuity again, ties everything together. And that's, like I said, the good thing about using a whole book, one book. I've cut out several images for the collaging, and also pieces like that maybe, and this possibly, these pieces that I thought would maybe make nice journaling tags, but I might use them in the collage. So these are possible collage pieces. I've cut out some text ready. I've also cut out a couple of plain strips, but there's some text here. This is another piece of that text that I want to use to tie things together. So I've got some of that cut. I've also got some pieces cut that, I know this is ripped, but that doesn't matter, that I think might make fairly nice tags when we move on to that particular part, and also things that might make some nice ephemera and journaling tags. Also, solid pieces like this might be nice for pockets. Again, we've got little bits and pieces here that might be used for journaling cards, etc. And the last thing I wanted to show you, that again might make a nice tag. Ooh, where did I put them? Here we go. So think about things like this, not garden, fragrant, all of these little things could be used as labels. I've also cut out a lot of words. I use things from the headings. You've got, look at your contents, all of these things to get words that you could use, so you don't always need to be using kits. This is all from this same book. Okay, so these are the bits and pieces that I will be using, some of them for the next video. So I just wanted to say, don't forget to go through your book and prep things if you need to. Ready for tomorrow. I will see you then. Bye.